Hi there, Flash here. So today I'd like to explain to you how I manage water while I'm on the trail. And I sweat a lot. As soon as I start exerting myself, my body is instantly drenched in sweat. I have to wear one of these headbands, mainly as a sweatband, keeps the hair out of my eyes, but it also absorbs the sweat and stops it from running down into my eyes. And I sweat so much that I have to drink a lot of water, and so my water needs are pretty significant. And that has been one of the challenges that I've run into on the trail, especially in the dry months where the springs and the streams are dried up and it's hard to find water. So the first thing I do, first thing in the morning or even the day before I leave, I look for the water availability in the stretch of trail where I'm going to be hiking. I also look at the weather forecast. If it's going to be below 60 degrees all day and nice and cool, I won't need nearly as much water compared to if it's like over 70 degrees. Humidity also plays a part. So in the very humid summer months, I need a whole lot more water. In fact, my water needs usually double. If I'm hiking in a very humid day where the temperatures are in the 80s, I will drink twice as much water as I do when the temperatures are in the 60s or 50s and it's drier. And just that plays a huge part in how much water I have to start out with at the beginning of the day, and also how often I have to stop and replenish my water supply. Now, what do I carry my water in? I have a bottle. This is called a hydro flask, and you can buy these on Amazon, and they have a bite valve, so you can sip out of that on the go. And I place this in a water bottle sleeve on the strap of my pack, so I can just reach over as I'm hiking and sip water. At the beginning of the day, I fill this with water and I add a pack of electrolyte drink mix. This is the Great Value brand from Walmart. It has all the electrolytes you need at a much lower price. There's no reason to go out and spend a bunch of money on expensive electrolytes. That's become like a new marketing campaign. Like, there's tons of electrolyte brands and they're all trying to get your business. And I know there's one specific brand that likes to get through hikers to endorse. I won't mention any names. But I've discovered that the Great Value Walmart brand works fine, and it's got, if you look at the ingredients, it's got all the electrolytes that you need without all the sugar. So you don't really need the extra additional sugar in your electrolyte drink mix. Gatorades tend to have a lot of sugar in them. So I put a packet of that in here if it's a hot, sunny, humid day. If it's a cooler, drier day, I might use half a pack of this in here. When my water in this bottle gets down pretty far, like maybe about half, and I stop for a break, I refill this, and there's already electrolyte in here that's dissolved in the remaining water. So I continue to sip out of that all day long. I don't usually use more than one pack of electrolytes per day. That's usually sufficient for me. If you find yourself getting a lot of muscle cramps or feeling extremely fatigued, add electrolytes to your water and you will notice a significant difference. So it is really important, especially if you sweat a lot, to replenish electrolytes as you're drinking water. Okay, so once again, this is called a hydro flask, and it collapses as you drink out of it, and it's got a bite valve. I carry a spare bite valve in my pack in case I lose this one or it breaks or goes bad or something. So I do have a spare bite valve, and I believe when I bought this it came with a spare bite valve. Periodically you have to pull these apart and clean them because they start to get a little moldy if you don't do that. So keep it clean, run some fresh water through it, and keep reusing it over and over and over again. Okay, now other water containers I use, and typically everybody pretty much uses the smart water bottles, and really you can use anything with these 28 millimeter screw caps. This is a 1 liter. I have 2 of these, And on a day when I know I'm going to need a lot of water and there's none to be had on the trail, I will go out with 2 of these. Keep in mind that water weighs about 2 pounds for a liter. So every liter you add to your pack, you're adding 2 pounds of weight. That's pretty significant, but you have to have water. It's critical. So I'll talk a little bit later about how I manage the water when I'm backpacking and dealing with making food and things like that. Now, let's say you get to a spring or a stream crossing and you need to replenish your water supply. You must have a system for filtering and cleaning the water. Giardia is a parasite, and it is passed into the water stream through the feces of animals. So you get really sick from it, severe diarrhea, sometimes vomiting, and people have been hospitalized with severe dehydration from Giardia. So it's a real thing. I've had a lot of people, I've run into people on the trail that brag that they never filter their water, and I just smile and nod and think, well, someday that's gonna come back to bite you. But you know, they seem to be proud of how tough they are because they can handle unfiltered stream water. No. In New Jersey specifically, the water has kind of a tea color to it. It's called a tannic water, and it's just from compounds that are in the tree roots that that are around the streams. It is completely safe. It's not going to hurt you. Sometimes it tastes a little funky, but it's not dirt. Okay, so if you come across some tannic water, don't worry about drinking it. It'll be fine. Now, filtering. So I started out last year with a Sawyer squeeze. Everybody uses Sawyer squeezes for the most part. It's the most popular filter I see out there on the trail. I had a lot of problems with my Sawyer squeeze. It was getting frustrating. So when you hook the Sawyer squeeze up to a bag, you need an adapter. Okay, so you have to have one of these blue adapter rings, and that goes on there like that. Okay, the other end goes onto your clean water bottle like that. Okay, and then you have another container that has your dirty water in it that you just picked up out of the stream or the spring. So I was using a Canuck bag. I have a 2-liter Canuck bag. Okay, it looks like this. I've used this a lot. It has held up really well. So I will take the end, loosen the end here, it opens up, and then you can open this up and hold it underneath the spring or drag it through the stream, or if you have a little cup, you can fill it. However you can manage to get water in here, and then you fold this down. I also use this for long water carries, so if I'm going to a shelter and I want to bring extra water to the shelter, I will fill my bottles and I will fill this Canuck bag and stick it in the back of my pack, and I'll have extra water at the shelter. Now this end gets screwed on to the blue adapter. So this is what you need to do if you have a Sawyer squeeze. You have to have this little blue ring. And so you could have a smart water bottle with dirty water in it, and then a smart water bottle with clean water in it. Make sure you somehow label which one is dirty and which one is clean. You don't want to get them mixed up, and it doesn't take much to contaminate your water with Giardia. So once you get your dirty water on there, you just gravity filter it, just let it run through, or you can squeeze it through. You can roll this down and kind of squeeze the water through, and it will go into your bottle. The problem I was having with my Sawyer is I was getting a whole lot of leakage right here in the middle, and there's no way to unscrew that or unfasten it. I don't know why it was leaking there. I was also getting a lot of leakage around the adapter constantly. Sometimes I would get leakage down here where the two things were screwed together, And leakage is concerning because you got all this dirty water running over clean stuff and you don't want to contaminate things. So I would say like at least half the time I was having problems with these things leaking. Now sometimes the Sawyer will leak out of the middle if it's clogged. I back flushed my filter, I cleaned it as well as I could, it still did it. So I don't know if there's a fault with this particular filter or if it's a problem with Sawyer squeeze in general. I don't know, but I was getting super frustrated. So I decided this year to try the Platypus. And I love my Platypus filter. Oh, so awesome. So this is the Platypus. It's smaller, it weighs less, and it caps on both ends, sealed caps. So you can put this in your sleeping bag at night to keep it warm if it's going to be really cold out, and it doesn't leak. The Sawyer Squeeze, you've got to put it in a plastic bag or you're going to get water all over the inside of your sleeping bag. Okay? With the new Platypus filters, you do not need any adapters. So I can take the cap off at one end, take the cap off the other end. Like that, okay? So this end is going to go onto my clean bottle, like that, okay? And then this end is going to go on my Canuck bag or my dirty water supply, like that. Really well engineered, okay? And then gravity filter or squeeze filter. I've had no leakage with this at all. It's worked perfectly every single time. I did back flush it after being out on the trail for a couple weeks and it really wasn't that dirty. It was surprising. So no adapters required. I was so worried about losing my adapter that I packed a second one. So there's more stuff you got to carry. The other issue with the Sawyer Squeeze is it has a washer in here and they tend to fall out. So people carry, including me, I carried extra washers in case I lost this. Some people super glue them in there. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. The Platypus does have a washer in there, but it's seated in there really tight. There is no chance that that thing's coming out, and I don't have any worries about it falling out or losing it. So I really like the new Platypus filters. Awesome filter, works great, so much better than my Sawyer, and I really like the feature that I can put a cap on both ends and I don't have to worry about water dripping out all over everything. Okay, now that being said, I do carry backup water purification tablets just in case. Let's say I'm on a hilly spot and I'm trying to get water and I drop my water filter and it rolls down off a cliff and I lose it. Oh no. These are my backups. So I carry a couple packs of the tablets that you put in. The drawback with using tablets is, of course, you have to resupply them. And then when you put them in, you have to wait several hours before you can actually drink the water. But it's a good lightweight backup to have. So I also carry an extra flip top sippy cap for my smart water bottle in case I want to use this to drink out of, and that has worked really well for me. Okay, one other thing that I have that I started using this year that I've used so much and I love it, and it's a little foldable cup / plate. I got this off of Amazon. It says Issy Mount Camping or something like that. I don't know the name of it. It comes in a pack with 3 different sizes. I just use the smallest one. I use it as a plate. I can cut stuff on here with my knife. It acts like a little cutting board. It weighs next to nothing. And then I can snap the corners together like this. Use it as a cup, use it as a bowl. I can use it to scoop water. I used this multiple times to scoop water when I had a real low stream. I can stick it underneath a spring, fill it like that. So this thing has been indispensable. I have used it constantly. I use it multiple times a day. I keep it in the front pocket of my pack, so it's handy. It gives me a place to put my lunch when I'm eating. So awesome, awesome little thing. So tiny little lightweight things that you get addicted to, that you use all the time. It's kind of amazing. So this has multiple uses, and I use it a lot, especially for scooping water out of shallow streams and puddles and things to get water. Okay, now let's talk about how much water you need. So water needs are going to vary quite a lot depending on how much you sweat, the weather, and what you're cooking. So you need water for camp. Now I've learned from experience that I need 3 liters of water for an overnight camp. Why 3 liters? I drink at least 1 liter of water with my dinner to rehydrate from all the sweating I do all day long. I use a couple cups of water for rehydrating my meals or cooking. I cold soak my breakfast, so I need water to cold soak my oatmeal for the next morning. And then I need enough water in the morning to get me to the next water source where I can replenish my supply. So on the average, that tends to be about 3 liters for an overnight. Once I'm out on the trail, water demands are going to vary a lot from day to day depending on all those factors: terrain, temperature, humidity, all that sort of thing. If I'm doing a 10-mile stretch, I usually drink about 1 liter of water over a 10-mile stretch. I drink water with my lunch. I drink water when I stop for snacks. So it ends up being about a full liter for around 10 miles. So your needs are going to vary. The only way you're going to know is trial and error. I would say when you're first starting out, carry more water than what you think you're going to need. In fact, that's what I generally do all the time. I carry maybe an extra half a liter in addition to what I think I'm going to need, kind of as a cushion. Sometimes you run out of water and you think that next stream or that next spring is going to be your refill spot, and then you get there and it's dry, and then you're stuck. So it is a hard thing to judge, but it comes with experience, and the more experience you get, the better you're going to get at it, just like anything else. So I hope that helps. Happy trails!